Hello and welcome back to another live watch along right here on the Chronicles of a Gooner YouTube channel. Hope you're all good. It's Sheffield United versus Arsenal, live from Bramall Lane. I found it hard to get up for this game. I've got to be honest. It's one of those games that I've been looking at for the whole weekend going, is it really that important? The Europa League takes precedent. And I think this game comes as a little bit of an unwanted distraction. And it sounds silly, right? Because a Premier League game should never be an unwanted distraction. A Premier League game should be hugely significant. But just the way things have gone over the last sort of few weeks, where the Premier League sort of hopes and dreams have kind of faded away completely, makes me feel that way about this game. And obviously I'm glad with some of the team news. Glad to see a couple of faces in there that we've been calling for a while. We'll kick on and we'll have a look at the team news first and foremost. And let's start off with the Arsenal team. It's Bernd Leno in goal. It's a back four of Callum Chambers, Rob Holding, Pablo Mari and Bukayo Saka, we think, is going to play at left back. In midfield, it's Ceballos, Xhaka and Partey, with Pepe, Lacazette and Martinelli up top. Of course, there's no Emil Smith-Rowe, there's no Martin Odegaard, there's no Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. So I think we're going to see a slight shift in the formation today. I think it's going to be more like a 4-3-3 than the 4-2-3-1. Ceballos in that more advanced role, potentially. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure that role suits him. I'm not sure that role really works with him. And I said that the game feels as though it doesn't really matter. Peter says, yes, Harry, it does matter. We need European football, even if it's just for the extra money. I agree that we need European football. I just can't see us achieving it in the Premier League, if I'm honest. I look at the situation we find ourselves in and I'm worried. I'm concerned. And it feels like, whilst it's not mathematically impossible, it feels like it's very unlikely. And therefore, what happens on Thursday night has to take precedent over what happens here today. Let's have a quick glance at the Sheffield United side as well. Where is it? Let me just bring it up and I'll quickly run you through the Sheffield United side as well. It's Aaron Ramsdale in goal. Back three of Ethan Ampadu, John Egan and Ender Stevens, with Baldock, Osborne, Lundstrom, Norwood and Fleck making up the midfield. And McGoldrick and Burke are the two strikers for Sheffield United. Of course, Chris Wilder left a little while ago, so they are working with a caretaker manager at the moment. But it's one of those opponents today that it's not going to be a pushover, right? I know Sheffield United have had a difficult season so far, but they aren't a pushover normally anyway. It's the type of opponent that Arsenal have traditionally struggled to deal with. And the fact that if we do fail to pick up all 3 points today because of where they are in the league, it becomes a massive, massive issue. Jack says, no excuses tonight, Harry. We're playing one of the worst teams in the history of the Premier League. Yeah, there won't be any excuses for me tonight. And actually, I listened to the Arsenal Vision podcast yesterday. And what the Arsenal Vision podcast do brilliantly, and a big shout out to them, by the way, if you haven't listened to it, it is certainly worth your time. The Arsenal Vision podcast are really good at breaking things down without the ranting and raving, and they made some really, really good points about Mikel Arteta and some of the things that he's probably got wrong since taking the job at the Emirates Stadium. Now, I've never denied that Mikel Arteta has made some mistakes, but listening to that kind of opened my eyes a little bit to a few kind of other bits and pieces that at the time I kind of let slide, but now looking back on them, I think they were mistakes, and I think they're things that Mikel Arteta's got wrong. So I do advise you, go and listen to that post Slavia Prague podcast. It's really, really good. Gives you a really good sort of breakdown of Mikel Arteta's tenure so far. Some of the things he's got right, some of the things he's got wrong. I really, really enjoyed it, and I highly, highly recommend it. So please do check that out if you haven't done so already. Kickoff fast approaching, around about 10 minutes to go, and As I said the other day, this podcast is kindly being brought to you right now by Le Bomb, the new predictor app. I'm currently in a game versus Boovy, Adam McCullough, Elliot Hackney and Rory Jennings. I'm currently second in the table. Rory's above me with 44 points. I'm on 38 points. I had Manchester United to win at Spurs 2-1. So the fact that Manchester United scored another goal late on was actually really bad for me on the game. Obviously delighted to see Spurs lose by a greater margin, but of course it's damaged me a little bit in the table as well. So I'm second at the moment. This is the last game of today. I went with a Sheffield United 1, Arsenal 3 prediction here. So fingers crossed we get that through. And if we do, happy days. Hopefully we can climb back to the top of the league going into the last few games tomorrow. The last couple of games, I should say. So check out Le Bomb. Download it. It's available in the UK and it is for 18 plus. So make sure you are 18 plus if you do. Or if you are 18 plus and you want to check it out, you can. You just have to go through a short verification process to be able to play the game. But you're basically betting against your mates rather than the bookmakers. So not only can you win a few quid, but you can also win the bragging rights as well, which is fantastic. Lee Loughran says you should try and get Clive from Arsenal Vision onto one of your podcasts. He's so intelligent about players and tactics. Completely agree. He's fantastic. And I was literally... I normally listen to Arsenal Vision and sometimes I just don't get a chance. And then before you know it, the game's gone, been and done. And all of a sudden there's new news, if you like. But yesterday on my way to work, I chucked it on and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So highly recommend. Don't forget, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button. It is so important for the channel. Subscribe if you're new, and if you're interested in becoming a member of the channel, you can do so by clicking on the link in the description. For those of you joining us a little bit later on, let's quickly run through that Arsenal team once more. Bernd Leno in goal, back four of Callum Chambers, Rob Holding, Pablo Mari and Bukayo Saka. In midfield, it's Granit Xhaka alongside Thomas Partey, with Martinelli from the left, Pepe from the right. Ceballos, we think, may play in that advanced midfield position with Alexander Lacazette up top. I think the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, I think Mikel will probably want to stick to the 4-2-3-1 formation. And so I think you'll see Ceballos playing in that advanced role rather than part of a flat midfield three. Looking at the left-back position, of course, Bukayo Saka comes in. And we talked about that sort of in the lead up to the Slavia Prague game. After Kieran Tierney picked up his injury, what was the right option? Was it to play Cedric Suarez or was it to play Bukayo Saka? I leaned towards Cedric Suarez, but it left us so unbalanced the other night, didn't it? Having that right footer at left back just disrupts the flow in so many ways. And so for me, I think Mikel's done the right thing in sticking Bukayo in there. And I think he probably needs to do that on Thursday as well, particularly if we're going to be looking to hurt them on the counter-attack. Just having Saka bombing on the outside is massive for me. So you can trust him in the final third. He's shown, at least in the games that he's played so far at left back, that you can trust him in the defensive third as well. An incredible maturity to his performances. I do think that his finishing has let him down quite a few times recently, but at left wing back or left back, he shouldn't really be in that position too often. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how Bukayo gets on tonight and whether that changes Mikel's view going into the game on Thursday. You can look at it with a flip side and you could say that maybe Mikel has no intention of playing Saka there the other day, but he thinks that Cedric will play there and he thinks Cedric needs a break and that's why he's done this. Who knows? Talked about it in the lead up to the Slavia Prague first leg as well, talking about the central defensive partnership, Pablo Mari and Rob Holding. I said it in the lead up to that game. I feel that those two just complement one another better than Rob Holding and Gabriel do. It's not to say that Pablo Mari overall is a better centre half than Gabriel, but I just think that they complement each other better. Big hello to Bruno in the chat. He says, Harry, question, is there a way I can become a member for 1 month instead of paying every month? I think you just have to set it up and then cancel it, mate. I'm not aware of a way you can do that. If anybody in the chat knows, feel free to fire over some info to Bruno, or if you know how that works, because honestly, as I always say to you guys, for somebody who's a YouTuber and who's on here pretty much every day, I do struggle with some of the technical sides of it. Look how long it's taken me to get a watch along with the background, with the scoreboard, with the team news, all of it. It's mad. Big hello to Adam. He says, not to be downbeat, but this season has left me so uninterested in watching Arsenal. I don't even get mad anymore. From top to bottom, we're rotten. No Kroenke cash injection. When's it going to end, Harry? Yeah, I feel really downbeat at the moment as well. And I was holding on to the Europa League as something that could keep us interested, as something that could potentially salvage our season. And obviously it's still there, right? We're not out of the Europa League. There's been a lot of overreaction, in my opinion, to the Slavia Prague result. It wasn't ideal. It was disappointing, the way we conceded the goal so late on, etc., etc. Particularly having been in a situation where we should have been away with the Fairies. We should have been 2-3-0 up by the time that goal was conceded, in which case it isn't that big of a deal. But yeah, we're not out, and we've got a real good chance of progressing still. So we've got to be positive about what's coming on Thursday. Of course, if we turn in a really bad performance today, that'll be more difficult to do. But you know what I'm saying. We're not out yet, right? Not by any stretch of the imagination. Let's flick over to the crowd effects for this one. Two teams coming out of the tunnel at the moment. Just let me know if that is coming through loud and clear to you guys. Should be just ever so faint in the background. The Sheffield United team making their way out now. Of course, both sides having to come out separately because of the COVID restrictions. But we're hoping, as fans, we can be back in the stadiums pretty soon. Let's quickly run through the Sheffield United team once more. Ramsdale, Ampadu, Egan, Stevens, Baldock, Osborne, Fleck, Norwood, Lundstrom, McGoldrick and Burke. For Arsenal, it's Leno, Chambers, Holding, Marie, Saka, Xhaka, Thomas Partey, Nicola Pepe, Danny Ceballos, Gabriel Martinelli and Alexander Lacazette up top. Lots of you've wanted to see Gabriel Martinelli start. Plenty of people have been banging on about it for a while now. And he's got his start. He's got his opportunity. Let's hope that he takes it with both hands. As Tom from the Gooner Talk tweeted earlier, Gabriel Startinelli today. Love that. So yeah, he's in the team. On the bench, it's Ryan, Bellerin, Suarez, Gabriel, Elneny, Aziz is interestingly on there. Nelson is on there. Willian is on there, as is Eddie Nketiah. No following Balogun, despite the fact that he is supposedly about to commit his future to the club, about to sign on the dotted line to keep him at the Arsenal beyond the end of this season. Alexander Lacazette wears the captain's armband for the Gunners this evening, who wear their chain strip of all navy blue with the pink trimmings. Sheffield United, of course, in their traditional red and white stripes with black shorts and red socks. Now, there's going to be a period of silence in memory of His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, who sadly passed away at the back end of last week. So we're going to have a period of silence for that. So I'm just going to be respectful, and here we go. There we have it, a period of silence impeccably observed by those inside Bramall Lane in honour of the Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, sadly passed away at the back end of last week at 99 years of age. Alexander Lacazette in the centre, doing his captain's duties, opposite John Egan, his Sheffield United counterpart. Big hello to everybody joining us in the chat. If you're joining us a little bit later on, minute silence, or I think it was a couple of minutes, or it's a long. It feels like longer than a minute. I haven't timed it to work out exactly how long it is, but of course, it would be wrong not to pay our respects. It's going to be Arsenal to kick us off, shooting from left to right. Peter Banks is the referee. Already seen one shocking refereeing decision today. Let's hope we don't have another one, unless it's in our favour. He's just making a final count of the players on the field. I think we're going to have the knee as well in support of the Black Lives Matter campaign. There we go. And we are underway at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United versus Arsenal in the Premier League. And a chance for Mikel Arteta's Arsenal to at least improve their form going into the second leg of that huge European tie coming up on Thursday night. Header won by Xhaka. Here's Thomas Partey into Callum Chambers. He knocks one forward towards Lacazette, but it will roll all the way through to Ramsdale in the Sheffield United goal. Don't forget, if you haven't hit the like button already, please do so. Really does help the channel. Subscribe if you're new. Rob Holding winning a defensive header. The ball played forward by Sheffield United. It ricocheted off of Nicola Pepe, and Ben Osborne is going to take the throw in from the left. Here's Egan at the back. Now it's with Norwood. Out to the right hand side. Driven forward by Sheffield United. Osborne takes it down once again. Steve says, I'll be quiet for 10. Just been served a roast dinner. I had a lovely roast dinner today. My word. Sensational. And I enjoyed it while I was watching Tottenham get beaten at home. What more do you want than that on a Sunday afternoon, eh? Here's Egan, just rolls the ball back to Ramsdale in the Sheffield United goal. I tell you what, Bukayo Saka's not playing at left back by the looks of things, is he? Looks like he's in the number 10 position at the moment. Looks like Granit Xhaka is playing there. Here is Martinelli driving forward. Plays in Bukayo Saka. Shoots from the angle. It's just over the top of Ramsdale's crossbar. Arsenal breaking forward with power, pace and precision. And Bukayo Saka shoots over the bar. It was Martinelli who picked it up just inside their half. Drove forward. Played Saka in from the left and he shoots towards goal. Over the top of Ramsdale's goal. Just clipped the back end of the net. It was high and wide in the end, but a good effort from Bukayo Saka. Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? It looks like Bukayo Saka is playing in that number 10 position and Granit Xhaka is at left back. Interesting. Here's Osborne. Plays the ball forward. He's got a chance to cross it in from the left-hand side for Sheffield United. Picks out his teammate. Ball delivered into the box. Did it take a deflection? No, it didn't. It's going to be an Arsenal goal kick. Big hello to Mr. Tesh as well. And to everybody in the live chat, of course. Apologies if I've missed some of your comments. Chat box is constantly updated. I'm trying to keep tabs on the game as well. 3 minutes on the clock. Sheffield United 0. Arsenal 0. Here is Rob Holding into Callum Chambers at right back. Plays the ball forward to Saka, who's dropped deep to pick it up. Partey whips one across the pitch and finds our left back for the day, Granit Xhaka. He'll bring the ball up to the halfway line. Into Lacazette. Now it's with Ceballos. Back to Xhaka. Certainly hasn't got the pace to play at fullback. But I don't think you'll see him bombing on forward too often. As Partey chips one out towards the right, Nicola Pepe will chase it. But it ends up in Ramsdale's arms. Comfortable gather from the Sheffield United goalkeeper. Here are the hosts in possession. At right back. Back to Ramsdale. Looks to switch the play out towards the left-hand side. Tries to pick out Ender Stevens. I think Nicola Pepe got ahead on that in the end. And it's going to be a Sheffield United throw-in. It's taken by Stevens. Now it's with the midfield into McGoldrick. He tries to lay it off for a teammate. But Callum Chambers wins it back and finds Lacazette, who finds Pepe. He's gone down and wins a free kick. About 15, 16 yards inside Sheffield United's half. Wondered if Mikel was going to switch it to a 4-3-3. Wondered if Ceballos was going to play in an advanced midfield role, or if he was going to be part of a flat midfield three. Actually, Ceballos is part of the midfield pivot. The two-man pivot, that is, with Bukayo Saka playing ahead. And Granit Xhaka is playing at left-back, to many people's surprise, including my own. Here's Partey into holding around about the halfway line for the Gunners. Plays it forward to Callum Chambers. Helps this on. Pepe looks for the back flick, but he was offside. Nicola Pepe just straight into an offside position, according to the officials. Big hello to everybody joining us a little bit late. Make sure, if you haven't already, that you've smashed that like button. It is really, really important. Granit Xhaka passing on instructions to his teammates. Ramsdale will take it. The resulting free kick, that is, from Pepe, straying offside. Martinelli inside the centre circle, just lays it off for Ceballos. Thought about driving forward, turns back, was closed down in the end and plays it square to Rob Holding. He chips a long ball towards Nicolas Pepe. The defender's made a mess of this. Pepe's inside the box. Can he get it under control? Tries to cut back inside. But I think Ender Stevens fairly won the ball back there anyway for Sheffield United. But the flag has gone up against Pepe. Arsenal just showing a couple of signs of what they're intending to do anyway. And that's to try and get Pepe in behind. And you do wonder, having looked back on that Slavia Prague game, and I watched it on the Saturday morning again, because obviously we did the watch along, we did the post-match reaction, we did a pod the next day, but I watched it again on a Saturday morning, and what I found was, you know, looking at Slavia Prague and the way they played, they were so high up the pitch, so early on in the game. It begs the question as to why we didn't try and play a Pepe or an Aubameyang, at least one of them, in order to try and exploit that space in behind, because Lacazette isn't going to do that. It's just not his game. And I do wonder if Mikel Arteta's sort of obsession with disciplinary stuff is preventing him picking the right teams. Saka whips a ball into the penalty area. It's hooked away by John Egan on the edge of his own 6-yard box. Good work from Arsenal, though, again down the right-hand side. Here was Saka. Arsenal have started brightly here, and we've seen this happen on a few occasions this season, haven't we? Arsenal start a game like a house on fire, particularly away from home, not necessarily take their opportunities, and then regret it later on. But fingers crossed that won't be the case here today. Chambers will take this throw-in, tries to find Pepe, looks to control it inside the box. Can't quite bring it under his spell, and the ball will go out for a goal kick. Paul Nels says Pepe's feet not working yet. Rami says, is Saka playing as an 8? Looks like he's playing as an attacking midfielder. Yeah, it looks that way, with Xhaka at left back as it stands. Cody says, doesn't seem like a plan that won't work, but does feel overcomplicated. Why play 3+ players out of position when it could just be Saka playing an unfamiliar role? I agree with you, and that's why I didn't think he'd do it. But he has done it. Let's give him a chance and see how it pans out, I suppose, before we jump to conclusions. There's McGoldrick, just rolls the ball back to his central defender. There's Ampadu for Sheffield United. Then Lundstrom. Back with Ampadu playing on the right of the 3-man Sheffield United defence. Had a really difficult season, Sheffield United, haven't they? And you looked at them last season and they majorly overachieved. But I was having this discussion yesterday about the fact that they did, I guess they did show signs of it at the back end of last season. After the restart, they were really, really poor. Long ball forward down the right, though, with Sheffield United coming forward. Can they keep the ball in play? It's put towards the penalty area. Thomas Partey doing battle with Osborne. Partey comes out on top, but then Saka gives it away. Ball into McGoldrick inside the box. Makes room for the shot. McGoldrick is just wide of Bernd Leno's left-hand post. That'll go down as a chance for the hosts. Arsenal not clearing their lines quick enough. Thomas Partey lost out in a challenge. Maybe lost out is a bit harsh. Ball ended up at Bukayo Saka, who's missed control. Gave the ball back to Osborne. He found McGoldrick, who took a shot, took a touch first, used his body to prevent Xhaka getting across, and then took a shot, which was just wide, as I say, of Bernd Leno's post. Here come Arsenal, though. Here's Pepe inside the Sheffield United half. He's got Saka on the outside of him. Arsenal's athleticism in the wide areas early on is showing. Sheffield United win the ball back and they'll break away now. Here's Osborne on the left. Ball forward into Burke. Now it's with McGoldrick. Looks to switch the play. Good work from Dani Ceballos to get back and cut out that pass from midfield. He did really well to apologies, it was Martinelli. Wow. It was Martinelli who got back. Tell you what, Martinelli wants to prove himself, doesn't he? He wants a place in this starting 11 far more frequently. He's putting in the shift, he's putting in the work. Mikel Arteta keeps talking about the fact there's still things for him to improve on, and I don't doubt that for a second. He's just a kid. But you know what? His enthusiasm, his energy, it just rubs off onto other people. And that's what we need at the moment. Just like when Emile Smith-Rowe and Bukayo Saka came into the side, they brought an energy, they brought a freshness and enthusiasm to the group. Martinelli could give us another boost if he's selected, but I can't see that happening on Thursday, given that he's starting today, unless he plays so well that he gives Mikel no choice but to do so. Let's see. Ender Stevens conceding a throw-in, just trying to get comfortable here. I sat with my leg sort of crossed and I've got pins and needles 11 minutes into the game. Terrible news. Terrible news. Don't forget this broadcast and this podcast for the next few days is brought to you by La Bombe, the new predictor app. Head over to the link in the description to download it, sign up. It's betting against your mates and it's great, great fun. Must be 18 to play and must be a UK resident, but check it out if you haven't done so already. I'm playing it this weekend and I've really enjoyed it so far. Here is Ramsdale in the Sheffield United goal. Gets it back, does Aaron Ramsdale. Now it's with Lundstrom, looks for the switch of play. Ender Stevens will take it on the chest. He's under pressure from Pepe, who closed him down and conceded the throw-in. Throw-in that Osborne is going to take. Goalless here at Bramall Lane between Sheffield United, who are not mathematically quite yet, but who are relegated, and Arsenal, who at the start of kickoff, or at the start of the game, sit in the bottom half of the table, which just isn't good enough. Here is McGoldrick on the left. I'm not sure what's happened there. I think he's been flagged offside there. David McGoldrick. Yep, flags up against him. Can see we've got over 100 of you with us right now, so There's no excuse for us not having at least 75 likes. So smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and if you wish to become a member, you can do so by clicking on the link in the description. Here is Bukayo Saka. Just steps into Sheffield United's half. Plays a ball for Pepe. Pepe was stretching to get on the end of that. Rolls it back to Rob Holding at right centre-back. Pepe then just dances past his man. Flicks it infield for Saka. Lacazette's making a move ahead of him, but instead he goes out to the left for Gabriel Martinelli. He's inside the box. Martinelli, Ceballos on the overlaps. Cross is blocked, and he wins Arsenal a corner despite Sheffield United's protests. A good sweeping move across the pitch from Arsenal. They're playing with a pace and a tempo, the kind of pace and tempo that we could have done with on Thursday. But it's the kind of start to the game from Arsenal that gives me encouragement that we can go to Prague and score. And that is why I kept on talking about the fact that the reaction to that draw was a little bit OTT. I know that we didn't play well. I know that with the way things have gone this season, we deserve it. But we just need to chill out a little bit. And we're not going to win every game. We're not always going to perform the way we want us to perform. But it's just the way it is at the moment. The reality is we're not at the level that we need to be. It's going to be Pepe to take the corner from the left-hand side. 15 minutes exactly on the clock. Partey's forward, as are the centre-backs, but the ball is cleared by Sheffield United. Ceballos hooks it up in the air. It's a poor clearance. I'm not even sure what it was meant to be from Ceballos, but he landed Xhaka in some hot water. Xhaka recovers and plays the ball out, and Arsenal have it back with Thomas Partey midway inside their own half. He just puts his foot on it, turns and lays it off to Dani Ceballos. Here is Partey inside the centre circle now for the Gunners. Left to Xhaka on the halfway line. Picks out Ceballos, who's constantly pulling out to the left-hand side. Just trying to work out exactly what is going on with this formation. It's a little bit all over the place, isn't it? It's like it becomes a back three almost when we've got the ball. And Ceballos, there he is again, so coming from the left. Steps infield though, Ceballos. Chips one in towards the far post. Takes a deflection. Chambers whips it across the box. It'll go all the way through. And it's picked up by a Sheffield United player as they come away with it. Let off there for the Blades. Because Arsenal did really, really well to create an opportunity there. But again, you're seeing Partey sitting in the midfield. Arsenal now out of possession. Slightly change it. And you see Ceballos now. He's just tucked in alongside Thomas Partey. Now that Sheffield United are on the ball. But I think the instruction is for Ceballos to get wide when Arsenal have the ball. Not completely wide. Not hog the touchline. But just start from a slightly wider position as Pepe plays the ball towards Bukayo Saka. Lacazette will pick this up. Here's Saka. Looks to flick it round the corner. He's dispossessed on the edge of Sheffield United's box. Here's McGoldrick. Lays it off to a teammate. Now Osborne has it. Osborne once more. Now it's with Fleck. Under pressure from Pepe. Fleck again with a flick. Looking for McGoldrick, but the ball will go out for an Arsenal throw-in on the right, which Rob Holding takes quickly. It's back with Bramall Lane in the Arsenal goal. Now it's with Pablo Mari at centre-back. He finds Granit Xhaka. Puts a foot on it, looking for options. Instead rolls it inside to Thomas Partey. Now it's with Rob Holding. Back to Partey. Now Mari. Xhaka once more. Here's Ceballos again on that left side. Plays it into Thomas Partey. Now Xhaka. Across the halfway line, and he finds Rob Holding. Holding gets it back again. Dani Ceballos calling for it from Pablo Mari, but didn't get it when he initially wanted it. Gets it eventually though. Here's Martinelli coming in from the left hand side. Started the game explosively, but he's been a bit quiet in the last few minutes, Martinelli. Not really been involved. As Ceballos picks out Callum Chambers on the right. He finds Pepe on the outside of him. Always looking to step inside onto that stronger left foot of his. The ball finds its way to Partey. Shoots from distance. It's blocked. It's with Chambers now to the right of the penalty area. Delivers it. It's blocked. Hooked away by Sheffield United. It will fall to Callum Chambers after a deflection off of an Arsenal player. Here's Osborne again. And now Sheffield United get the ball all the way back to their goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale. Sheffield United have had 55% of the possession apparently. Doesn't feel that way watching it. Who am I to argue with the statisticians? Here's Ampadu at the back for Sheffield United. Long ball forward, picked up by Partey in the midfield, but he lost it instantly. And Sheffield United have it back. They've had a lot of the ball in these kind of areas, among their centre-backs in the deep midfield positions. Not really had a lot of the ball though in the Arsenal half. There is Ender Stevens, goes all the way back to Ramsdale in goal. He plays it into Lundstrom. Now it's with Ender Stevens down the line into Osborne. Well done from Nicolas Pepe to win the ball back. I can't believe that's been given as a foul. It looked like Nicolas Pepe just simply got there ahead of Osborne, put his body in the right place. I don't think he impedes him in any way, shape or form. That's really, really soft. Really soft. Free kick is taken by Sheffield United. I think the ball ended up going out of play because it's going to be an Arsenal throw-in. On the right-hand side, just shy of the halfway line, Piccolo to Tony. He says, not great passing in the last third again. Yeah, it feels like that final ball is just missing. There is Holding, just rolls it back to Bern Leno. He picks out Granit Xhaka, our left back for the day. Into Partey in midfield. Now it's with Holding, takes a touch. Finds Chambers on the outside of him, goes infield to Saka. It's back to Holding. Now it's with Xhaka, and again Ceballos has pulled out to the left-hand side. Nice first-time ball for Martinelli. Can he bring it down after it was deflected up into the air by a Sheffield United defender? Not quite, and Sheffield United have the ball. They might lose it here though on the edge of their own penalty area. Arsenal pressing like crazy, which is good to see. Arsenal looking to squeeze Sheffield United into their own half as Osborne plays a ball down the line, which Ollie Burke is going to chase. The ball's ended up back with Bern Leno, who was scurrying across his penalty area there to keep up with it. Okike says, I hope the lineup delivers. Waiting to see Saka and Martinelli combination on the left. Saka's not playing on the left though, contrary to what many people thought, including myself when the team was announced. He's playing through the middle, Bukayo Saka. Xhaka is playing at left back, and Danny Ceballos, when Arsenal are in possession, seems to be operating from a left-sided position. Here's Martinelli. Can he get in behind? Almost got there ahead of Ramsdale, who came rushing out of his goal to clear it. And the Blades are in possession once more. Here is Ramsdale. Smashes it straight against Alexander Lacazette, who was inside the penalty area, and he's lucky there, Ramsdale, because the ball literally cannoned off of the Frenchman and ended up in the arms of Aaron Ramsdale. Suicidal clearance from Ramsdale. Straight into Lacazette. Can't expect Lacazette to control that. Not even his harshest critics could blame him for not being able to get that one down and under his spell. Here is Xhaka. Switches the play. Holding will take it down with the first touch and plays it into Bukayo Saka. Now it's with Callum Chambers. Partey doing battle with a couple of Sheffield United players. And Sheffield United, I think, have won themselves a throw-in on the left. Big hello to Kevin Jean joining us as well. Says, afternoon Gooners, afternoon Harry, come on Arsenal. Hope you're well, mate. And thanks for joining us. Here is Osborne looking to go beyond Saka. Saka concedes another throw-in. Sheffield United have had a few of these on the left-hand side. Ben Osborne is the man with the ball in his hands. Throws it short, gets it back. Looks to deliver into the box with his right foot, but it was blocked, and Arsenal might break away here. Here's Saka. Inside to Ceballos. Lovely flick to Alexander Lacazette. Good move this from Arsenal. Here's Martinelli approaching the penalty area. Gabriel Martinelli from the angle hits the side netting. Really, really good football though from Arsenal. They broke away really quickly, really incisively. Lovely flick from Dani Ceballos in the build-up. He broke into Sheffield United's half and the ball was played into him by Saka. Just a nice little cute back heel into Lacazette, who found Martinelli, entered the penalty area from the left-hand side. The angle was against him, but he was willing to take the shot on Martinelli with his weaker left foot. Just into the side netting. Unlucky from the Gunners. That is more like it. 24 minutes on the clock. Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 0. Here's Pepe on the right. Finds Partey on the halfway line. He picks out Ceballos. Now it's Pepe once more. It's a loose pass from Pepe across the pitch. He's giving it away. Lundstrom has it for Sheffield United. Now it's with Egan at the back now. Ender Stevens. Infield to Fleck. McGoldrick. Here comes Sheffield United through Ethan Ampadu. Finds Baldock on the right. Gets it back. There's Ampadu. Now it's with Stevens. Sheffield United looking to come down the left now with Osborne. He's got runners on the outside of him. It's the centre-back Stevens. Puts it into the box. McGoldrick rises, but the ball was cleared by Ceballos. Unfortunately, just having another look. In it came. There was a shove on an Arsenal player in the lead up to that. Here is Pablo Mari into Callum Chambers. Now it's with Leno. Finds Xhaka at left back. Plays it infield to Partey. Receives the ball on the edge of his own box. Dominic says, hi Harry, Martinelli should have squared that. Yeah, maybe he should have. I think the problem is with Martinelli is that he's going to be so desperate to make an impression, having finally got his chance, that you might see a bit of that. Here he is again on the left. Finds Ceballos. Ran about the edge of the box. Nice feet from Ceballos. Having one of his better games today, Dani Ceballos. And this is the problem with him. He just blows so hot and cold, you never know what you're going to get. Here's Pablo Mari into Thomas Partey. Xhaka out to Martinelli on the left flank. Finds Ceballos. Xhaka receives it again. Chips one out towards the right. Chambers takes it down. Into Pepe. He's lost the ball and Sheffield United could break here. Long ball over the top towards Ollie Burke. Well won by Holding in the air, and Pablo Mari came across to deal with the second ball. Good covering between the two. Here's Pepe breaking forward for Arsenal. The touch let him down again. Lewis says, do you worry for Arteta if we lose this? I don't. I think Arteta will be in the job at the start of next season regardless of what happens between now and the end of this season. I think even if Arsenal go out on Thursday, which I don't think we will, but if we did, I still think he'd be in the job. I think that the club have gone big on Mikel Arteta, and they're not about to change their minds, despite this season being bitterly disappointing so far. But it could all be a lot better if Arsenal go and win the UEFA Europa League, couldn't it? The European trophy, qualification for the Champions League. Then after all the stick that Mikel has got, you'd have to say his job done. He'd have achieved his objectives at the start of the season, which were, of course, to qualify for the Champions League. Just struggling to get comfortable here, man. Jeez. There we go. There we go. Here is Saka on the ball. Finds Chambers. Tries to get it into the box. Blocked by Osborne. Here's Chambers again. Into Saka. Into Lacazette, lays it off for Partey. Back to Lacazette, nice interchange between the two, and Partey tries to slip Saka in. Pass was cut out, Partey still alive here. Bullying people off the ball, which is good to see. Now it's with Ceballos. Paul Nell says, thoughts on Chambers in the past few games? Yeah, Chambers has done alright. Like, he's enthusiastic and he works hard and he tries hard, and you know, he did well at West Ham. I didn't think he was very good against Liverpool, but I kind of would give him a pass on that because nobody was good against Liverpool. But I do feel he looks a bit awkward as a right back, Callum Chambers. I prefer him in a central position, whether that be in the centre of midfield. I know during his loan spell at Fulham he played quite frequently in the defensive midfield position. I'm just not sure about him as a fullback. I'm not sure he's dynamic enough, but good squad player. Someone good to have around. Can play at centre back, as I said, can play probably defensive midfield and can fill in at right back. So really good squad player. I think he's got a better attitude than Ainsley Maitland-Niles, for example. So if you need a utility man, I'd rather it be Chambers. Here is Holding on the ball for Arsenal. Now it's with Pablo Marie at left centre back. Here's Holding once more. Not been a great game in terms of clear-cut chances, in terms of action. There's been a couple of sweeping moves from Arsenal, from which they've done really well to sort of get into dangerous positions, but having got there, they've not really cashed in, not really made them count. As Xhaka switches this ball out to the right-hand side, Chambers takes it down with a tidy first touch and rolls it square to Partey. He chips one forward, trying to get Nicola Pepe in behind the ball, fall to Bukayo Saka. He plays it out to the left. Martinelli will pick it up. On the edge of the box is Gabriel Martinelli. Only got one thing on his mind. Gets the shot off. Took a deflection off of a Sheffield United player, but ended up in the arms of Aaron Ramsdale. Talked about it earlier, though. It feels like with Martinelli, he's been chomping at the bit to get this chance, this opportunity to start for Arsenal. And now he's got it. He's going to do everything he possibly can to try and make his mark. And he gets a shot away there for Arsenal, but of course Ramsdale able to gather in the end. Big hello to Connor, who says just finished work and have tuned into the big man for his commentary again. Thank you, man. Hope you had a good day at work. He says, is Saka left fullback? No, Saka's playing as a number 10. Here he is driving forward. Bukayo Saka finds Martinelli inside the penalty area from the left. Can he deliver into the box? Low ball across. It's missed everyone. It'll come to Chambers at the far post. Shoots towards goal and it's blocked from about a yard in front of the goal line by a Sheffield United defender. Still alive here for Arsenal with Chambers on the right hand side. Saka trying to turn in the box, but McGoldrick was back defending. Sheffield United living dangerously, but good work again from Arsenal to create that space, create the overload on the left hand side, and Martinelli did brilliantly to whip the ball across the penalty box. Kevin Jean says, is at Ceballos auditioning for a third loan move? He did this last season, didn't he? He started it brilliantly. He was shit after that. And then he went into like a world beater again towards the end of the season. And we thought, oh, we'll have this kid again on loan. I'm not sure we'll get a third loan deal, though. I'm not sure Real Madrid will entertain it. But here is Partey into Lacazette on the edge of the box. Nice play between Saka and Martinelli, and Arsenal have the lead through Alexander Lacazette. That is a really, really well-worked goal from the Gunners, and that is why he plays up front. That is why Mikel Arteta selects him there, because he brings you that, the interchange, the link-up, the hold-up play. It was all brilliant from Alexander Lacazette, showing his intelligence, as were the others involved in that move. Just having another look at it. Partey into Lacazette, into Saka. Lovely little flick from Ceballos it was. I beg your pardon. It wasn't Gabriel Martinelli. It was Dani Ceballos with a delightful flick to play Alexander Lacazette in on goal. He opens up his body and almost Thierry Henry-like just places it into the far corner. That is some assist from Dani Ceballos, and whoever said he's auditioning for that loan move again, it seems that way. Brilliant football from Arsenal, and the Gunners are deservedly in front. Come on. Bit of confidence that we need going into that big game on Thursday night. And, you know, Lacazette obviously missed the chance the other night, and missed a couple of chances the other night, and there was a lot of criticism sort of coming his way off the back of that, for me included. But you know, that if ever you wanted to try and work out why it is that Mikel Arteta picks him and why he seems to prefer him at centre forward, that is why. That is what the goal is. That is what the intention is. To link up like that, to get players forward in and around him, to combine around the edge of the penalty area. And I just don't think you get that with Aubameyang. As good a goal scorer as he is, I just don't think, you know, you can. I just don't think you can get that out of Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and it's a very, very different thing. Here come Arsenal though on the attack again with Bukayo Saka into Lacazette. Looks to pick out Saka, just couldn't bring it under control. Really good ball into the England international, but he just couldn't bring it into his left foot. He made a really good run. Lacazette had the vision and the presence of mind to pick him out, but Saka just miscontrolled it and the ball ends up with Ramsdale in goal. Mr. Tesh says, Harry, you are an eternal optimist. All credit to you. Listen, mate, it's my job to talk about, to write about, and to create content about Arsenal every single day. And if I was too negative, I think it would drive me mad. I think it would make me miserable as a person. So you've got to look at the positives. I think what's the point in being a fan? You know, how can you enjoy something that you're always negative about and always downbeat about? There are lows, of course, especially supporting this team, but there are highs and there are positives, and you've got to enjoy them when they come along, because right now they're not coming along anywhere near as often as we'd like. But 35 minutes on the clock at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 1. Lovely goal, brilliant build-up play, expertly dispatched by Alexander Lacazette. Quality assist from Dani Ceballos. He deserves massive praise for that as well. But Arsenal have deserved the lead. They've been by head and shoulders the better side of the two. You always felt that we were threatening, but that final pass was missing. And when that final pass is executed correctly, that is the outcome. A devastating goal from Arsenal and Sheffield United, whose confidence won't be particularly high based on the season they've had so far, and they'll be feeling a lot worse now. Here is Partey in midfield. Here's Saka out to the right hand side for Chambers. Now Pepe picks it up. Dominic Harry says, are you ever going to go on the kickoff? If I ever get an invite, then yeah, I'll go. But no, I've not been invited. But yeah, if I did, if I got an invite, yeah, of course. I think the kickoff is brilliant. I really enjoy watching, listening to it, catching up with some of the clips after as well. Yeah, it's a really good show. Drop them a message and maybe they'll listen to you. But yeah, as I say, no, I'd love to, but no, I've not had an invite. Here is Pablo Mari at left centre back, finds Xhaka now. He chips one forward. Can Martinelli pick it up on the left hand side? He can. Martinelli gathers it. He's inside the Sheffield United box. Looks to roll it across the penalty area. But unfortunately, he's dispossessed. And Sheffield United have it with McGoldrick now on the halfway line. Here's Ender Stevens. Finds Ethan Ampadu into midfield for John Lundstrom. Baldock will take it down from the air. Sheffield United have made a right meal of that, haven't they? Because Arsenal have a throw-in now on the left wing, which Granit Xhaka, the makeshift left back, is going to take. Incredible to think that he is playing in that position. But he's done a pretty decent job so far. Not that he's had to do a great deal. But Mikel obviously really trusts him to pick him every week, to put him in positions that are alien to him. Says a lot about what he thinks of the professional. And I know there are a lot of Arsenal fans out there that are not sure about him and maybe want to see him sold or maybe want to see him leave. I feel like he's never going to be able to shake off that incident against Crystal Palace, which for me is unfair. He made a mistake. At least he turned up on time to the North London derby. And there you go. There you go. Here is Callum Chambers at right back. Rolls the ball in field to Thomas Partey. Now he finds Pablo Mari. Now it's with Ceballos. Ceballos will turn and finds Xhaka. Ceballos trying to win it back, but Sheffield United are still in possession. Here is Ender Stevens. Osborne. Ender Stevens gets it back. Ramsdale will clear it long. Approaching half-time at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United 0. Arsenal 1. The Gunners in the driving seat, in control, and have been by far the better team. Sheffield United have had their fair share of possession. They've not really done a great deal with it. They've struggled to break sort of in behind Arsenal's press, which has been quite good today. It's been quite aggressive today. And I think that's largely down to the personnel that we have on the pitch. You know, they've taken out a bit of technicality by not having an Emile Smith-Rowe or an Odegaard. I know the change was enforced, but what you have added is a tenacity and intensity, pace in sort of Martinelli, Saka playing in those positions, and Pepe, of course. So, yeah. The Overlord says, don't think many of us jumped out of our seats for that goal, good though it was. It was a good goal, but, you know, the Premier League has kind of lost its appeal a little bit for us, and that's the issue, isn't it? Here's that Partey. Looks for a searching ball to find Pepe on the right. Can he retrieve this, Nicolas Pepe? Nope, but he's going to protect the ball, and he's going to win Arsenal a corner kick, which he himself, I believe, is probably going to take from the left-hand side. Pablo Mari, Granit Xhaka, Rob Holding, all getting forward. I think Xhaka might just hang back a little bit. Chambers is in there, Holding's in there. As I said, Pablo Mari's in there too. It's going to be the Ivorian to take it. In it comes, left-footed. Flicked on at the near post by Lacazette. It will fall to Martinelli. Shot deflects just wide of Ramsdale's goal. Really clever corner from Arsenal. Brilliantly executed. Lacazette made a run across the front post. Just flicked it on. And the ball, or the attempted clearance from Ender Stevens, ended up on the edge of the penalty area for Gabriel Martinelli, who left-footed struck it towards goal. It took a deflection off of a Sheffield United defender, which just took it wide of the left-hand post as you look at it. And Arsenal now have a corner kick and another opportunity to put some pressure on Aaron Ramsdale's defence. Pepe's over there again. Will he be the man to deliver it, or will it be an in-swinger this time? Nope, it's going to be Pepe. Left-footed. In it comes. Again into a similar area. This time nobody was at the front post to flick it on. Sheffield United look to break away, but Osborne's missed control means Dani Ceballos has it, drives forward, finds Lacazette on the edge of the box. Lacazette goes to shot. It's blocked at the last second by a sliding Sheffield United challenge. Lacazette does well to retrieve it though. Arsenal playing with a lot of tempo at the moment. I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing and this intensity. When we lose the ball, the turnovers are quick. And you feel like this is something closer to what Mikel Arteta wants in terms of the energy levels, the fitness, the plan. The problem is that we're not able to deliver this on a frequent basis. And that inconsistency is why Arsenal find themselves in 11th place in the table. There's no getting away from it. The league position is simply not good enough. But when you see them do this, and I know Sheffield United are not a great side, but when you see them do this and apply this principle, you do wonder why they can't do it from week to week, as McGoldrick comes forward and wins Sheffield United a corner. He got into the Arsenal penalty area there and was trying to make something happen. He's managed to win a corner. And it's a chance for the Blades to get some of their centre-backs up the pitch. Egan and Ampadu making their way forward. Can they threaten? Half time is just around the corner. Wouldn't want to concede a goal now. Wouldn't want to concede a goal at any time. But Norwood puts this into the box, met by the head of Rob Holding. He did well there. Sheffield United get a shot away via Baldock, I think it was. It's a snapshot because the ball was delivered into the box, headed up into the air by Holding. Chambers lost the flight of the ball, and then Baldock. Was it Baldock? No, it was Egan. My apologies. Just turned, and on the spin, he gets the shot off. Straight at Burnley, unfortunately. Here's Partey in midfield. The Gunners have had 7 attempts in comparison to Sheffield United's 2. Sabas looking to pick out Martinelli on the left-hand side. The idea was right. Really difficult pass to play, though, isn't it? As in coming on the inside and then going back on the outside. It gave it a good go, though. Danny Ceballos. It's going to be an Arsenal throw on the left-hand side, which Xhaka is going to take. It's pretty much in line with the edge of Sheffield United's penalty area. I can see there's over 200 of you watching us right now. Make sure you hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Really, really appreciate it. And subscribe to the channel if you're new. Lacazette tries to put one into the box towards Martinelli. It's been headed clear by Ollie Norwood, who's back doing his defensive duties. The Sheffield United midfielder. It's going to be another Arsenal corner. Be a minute of time added on at the end of this first half, as indicated by Lee Mason. Pepe's going to take the corner. Not in a rush to get out there, though, is he, Nicola Pepe? Lacazette was taking the ball over to the corner flag initially. Big hello to Paul Nell. Paul, thank you so much, mate, for your very, very kind super chat donation. I haven't worked out how to bring them onto the screen on OBS yet. I know how to do it on StreamYard, but I haven't worked it out on this yet. But thank you so much, mate, for your very, very kind donation of $12. Thank you so much, man. All the best, and he says thanks for the content. Thank you for tuning in all the time, mate. Good to see regulars in the chat, and great to see you there, mate. Thank you so much. Lewis says, thoughts on Thomas Partey's this half, Harry? Do you know what? We'll save the Partey talk for half time because we're fast approaching it. The whistle's due to go any second now. So let's get to half time and we'll talk a little bit about Thomas Partey. VAR just having a look at a potential handball there against Ollie Norwood. He did have his arm up, Norwood. Nope, the VAR not interested. They did have a look though. There it is. Half time at Bramall Lane. It is Arsenal 1, Sheffield United 0. Good goal from Alexander Lacazette. Brilliantly worked move from the Gunners to ensure that Lacazette got into the right position, got into the right space. And from that position, he did the right thing. He opened up his body and he steered it into the far corner. As a result, Arsenal lead at Bramall Lane. And that was a much better first half performance than the one we saw on Thursday. Let's get your questions in the live chat. Let's get your thoughts on that first half. I'm going to take a short break just for a couple of minutes. Literally a couple of minutes. So please don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Just need to grab a little bit of water. And I'll be with you guys in a couple of minutes. So get the questions in now while I'm gone. Get your thoughts in now. Don't forget to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Sign up and become a member if you wish to do so. Download the La Bombe app. The link is in the description. And I'll be with you guys in just a few minutes' time. Cheers. There we go. Can you hear me now? Bloody hell. Should have unmuted my mic. I'm sitting there talking to nobody. Back. We're here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Back for the watch along between Sheffield United and Arsenal. The Gunners leading by 1-0. Apologies for that. I muted it at half time. And I bloody forgot to unmute it, and I wasn't looking at the little screen bit where it flashes up if the volume's coming through. So my bad, apologies, but don't worry, I'm here now. Let's talk a little bit about that first half. Let's answer some of your questions from the live chat, and I believe the first question that came through was to do with Thomas Partey. What did I make of Thomas Partey's first half? I think he did okay. I think Thomas Partey had a few sloppy moments, but I think Thomas Partey has that in him. I don't see him as this polished midfielder that, you know, always plays the right pass, always controls the ball impeccably. He's not that kind of player for me. I know a lot of people painted that picture of him and they talk a lot about his passing range and things like that. I don't see Thomas Partey as somebody that we brought in for his technical ability. I see him as someone who we brought in for his physical dominance, for his athleticism, for his reading of the game, his understanding of what holes to cover and fill. And the sloppy moments, I think they're always going to be there with Thomas Partey. I thought he was quite good in that first half. No complaints from me. I haven't really got any complaints about anyone, if I'm honest. But yeah, like in general, I think Thomas Partey's blown a little bit hot and cold in the last few months, and how much of that is down to injuries? I'd imagine a fair bit of that. You know, fitness has been an issue for Thomas Partey ever since he came to the Emirates Stadium, and obviously that's been a blow for us and a problem for us. But yeah, as I say, I'm not disappointed by his performance today. I think he's done okay. As I say, it's been a couple of moments where he's been a little bit sloppy, giving the ball away, maybe a little bit casual in certain situations. But as I say, and don't get me wrong, I didn't watch him religiously at Atletico Madrid. I don't watch Spanish football religiously. But I always thought he had that in him. I never saw him as this polished technician from whom you're never going to see those moments, who's never going to give the ball away, who's never going to make the wrong decision. I just think that particularly in La Liga, his athleticism and physical attributes got him out of trouble quite a bit. And in a league that is generally less physical, I think that was more evident and more apparent. And in the Premier League, where the playing field is a little bit more level in terms of physical attributes, in terms of the intensity with which the game is played, I think you could argue that it's shone a bit of a light on some of those technical deficiencies that Thomas Partey does have. But not to knock the guy, not slagging him off. I appreciate that he's not even at 100% in terms of his fitness. You know, when you sign a player of his age and for the money that we signed him for, obviously you want it to work right away. You want him to come in and you want him to hit the ground running. And it looked as though he was going to do that, and then it felt like the injuries just set him back a little bit. But ultimately, you know, he needs time, and it takes time to adapt to a new league, to a new club. He didn't have pre-season with us as well, of course, because he was signed on deadline day, which was massive. So, yeah, I'll cut him some slack for now. Just looking back at that goal, what a sensational goal that was. And I feel bad that I attributed the wonderful back heel to Gabriel Martinelli at first view. And it was Dani Ceballos. Brilliant play from him. Not the first bit of skill, bit of silkiness and class that we've seen from Dani Ceballos today. I think he's had a really, really good game. It's been a little bit weird watching him, you know, operate from the position that he's operating in. I think the formation and the selection caught a few of us out by surprise at the start of the game. We all thought that Bukayo Saka was going to play at left back. The way it was even put on the team sheet, which you can see over my shoulder, this was the official sheet that Arsenal put out, or that the club put out. And when you look at that and you look at the way it's written with Chambers holding Marie and then Saka, you do assume that Saka's going to be the left back, but that's absolutely not been the case here. Saka's been playing in an advanced midfield position. He's had a bit of a free role, which I think he's done well in terms of exposing the right spaces, in terms of showing energy, in terms of pressing, Not sure he's used the ball as well as he could have. I didn't think he used the ball very well on Thursday as well. And sometimes with Saka, I feel like we've accelerated our expectations of him because he started his Arsenal career so well. But you've got to, at times, just take a step back and remember this is a 19-year-old. And a 19-year-old who's doing very, very well and is punching above his weight. So not to dig him out, not to have a go at him. But I do think he's been a little bit wasteful on a couple of occasions. I think that the Symeou role is an interesting one because it feels like what you're seeing Xhaka, although he's playing as a left back, stepping slightly more in field, getting closer to Marie and holding and making it a bit more of a back three. And then when Arsenal have the ball, you're seeing Symeou pulling out to the left flank so he can receive the ball and then drive in field. But we'll talk about that a little bit more on the post-match. So don't forget, we will be doing a post-match show around about 15-20 minutes after the full-time whistle. And then we'll be looking at the game from a more tactical perspective and reacting to some of the fallout tomorrow as well on our lunchtime show. So we'll be live at 12:30 p.m. UK time. So you can come and join me for that. I'm very much looking forward to bringing you guys that. So yeah. What else? What else do we want to talk about? Get your questions in the live chat. Let's have a look. Michael S has enjoyed Pepe and Saka's performances. I've liked the way they've combined, and I like the way they've done everything with so much energy, zip, and tempo. I think when you're trying to break a team down, it's so important. And I know it sounds like a really basic thing to say, but I do think when you need to break a team down or you're struggling to break a team down, it's so important that you move the ball quickly, incisively, with zip and with tempo, because you need to be pulling people out of positions constantly. That's how you create cracks. That's how you create spaces and gaps in defences for you to exploit. If you switch the ball from the right to the left in one pass, you're essentially pulling somebody out of position because the player on the right's received it, the defence has shifted over to cope with that, and then the switch means that they've got to shift again. And if they don't all shift in synchronisation, that leaves gaps, that leaves spaces. Think back to George Graham's Arsenal defence. George Graham used to tie them up with rope in training so that they would pull, when the right back pulled to the right, the whole back line would move with him. When the centre back stepped up, the right and left back would come up as well. It was all ingrained in them because that is how you should defend as a unit. You have to move to the right together, move to the left together, drop deep together and push up together. And that's really, really important. But I think by switching the ball quickly, by not taking an extra touch and slowing things down, you do pull people out of position, and it's difficult to live with that. And Arsenal have done that well, whether it be Symeou, whether it be Saka, whether it be Pepe. It's been one touch passing in the final third, flicks, tricks, whatever you want to call them. But what it does, as I say, is it pulls people out of position. And I think Arsenal have been pretty good in that first half. Probably could have used the ball better, as I say, in some of the attacking areas, in some of the scenarios and situations that we created. But let's not be fussy. We're a team going into this one really low on confidence, in truth. We've got a massive, massive game to come on Thursday. If we can pick up 3 points here, great. But for me, it's all about Thursday night. It is so pivotal that we get something on Thursday night, that we do get through, and that we come out of this one as well as having the 3 points, but we come through it unscathed as well. And you look at Arsenal winning this game would take us up to 9th place. 7th is still on, with 4 points behind Tottenham in 7th, who of course lost today. What a crazy game that was as well. That decision to rule out Edinson Cavani's opener off the back of Scott McTominay almost flicking Heung-min Son in the face was just unbelievable. And, I'm a massive VAR fan. I think we needed it. I think it could still be a good thing if applied correctly. I think that it's applied in a shambolic way at the moment, and that's largely down to the officials not, in my opinion, using their brains, not using common sense. But that decision in particular was mystifying, wasn't it? It was almost as bad as the Jude Bellingham one the other day well, no, it wasn't that bad, but it was almost as bad as that. That was another shocking decision that I can't believe they didn't overturn. And of course, as Kevin points out in the chat, Arsenal take on Fulham next week. That's another team that you would expect us to get 3 points from. So we could still finish 7th. You know, we could still close the gap on Tottenham. Liverpool in 6th are on 52 points. I feel like 6th is a little bit out of reach. You know, do Arsenal want to be in a position where they're playing in that Europa Conference League? Not sure. I know the club would prefer it because I know that would bring some finance that we would be without otherwise. But for me, the Europa League is... Just being in the Europa League, it doesn't sit right with me as an Arsenal fan. So to say I'd want us to be in the Europa Conference would be like, it's a level below. And I sound like a snob saying that. Maybe like an absolute arsehole, but it is what it is. Just seen the advert for WrestleMania. Who's staying up to watch WrestleMania tonight? 1 a.m. Part 2 apparently. I didn't realise they did that with WrestleMania, but there you go. Teams are back out on the field and we're almost ready to get back underway here at Bramall Lane. It's going to be Sheffield United to kick us off this time. Nicolas Pepe late arriving on the pitch. Maybe nature called. Who knows? But we're ready to go here. Peter Banks blows his whistle. Second half kicks off. At Bramall Lane, Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 1 as things stand. It's my George Graham reference. Kevin says I was 4 years old when Wenger came to Arsenal. I was 6, but I've watched a lot of the George Graham eras and heard a lot about it and spoken to a lot of people who were involved in it. I like to look into the history and understand sort of where we came from. As Sheffield United get the first shot away of the second period. Took a deflection off of Granit Xhaka, and Sheffield United are going to have themselves a corner, which Osborne is going to take from the right hand side. Here is Fleck into McGoldrick, looks to help it on, hooked away by Pablo Mari at centre back. Ender Stevens will launch the ball forward again. Martinelli gets a header, but it's not a great header, and Norwood has the chance to cross from the right. In it comes, met by the head of Stevens, flapped at by Bernd Leno. Not sure what he was doing there, not sure if somebody impeded him as he tried to come out and get that Bernd Leno. Sheffield United have started this second half with some intent. Ender Stevens' ball into the box was headed left of the penalty area by Martinelli. Norwood put it back in the mix. Ender Stevens was in the mix there, and then Leno, I think, opted to punch that rather than to catch it. Had Rob Holding in front of him, perhaps thought he wasn't able to gather it with both hands. Didn't want to take any risks, I don't know, but punching it into that kind of area is not much safer, is it? Let's be honest. Leno takes a goal kick for Arsenal. It's towards the right hand side, won by a Sheffield United player under zero challenge. Here is Ceballos on the halfway line into Pepe. Saka was brought down there by Ender Stevens. Arsenal have a free kick just inside Sheffield United's half. Atletico Madrid have just gone 1-up at Real Betis. It's a big result. Well, it's not a result yet. It's early days. It's just kicked off. But Atletico Madrid, of course, under pressure to restore their position at the top of La Liga. It's Yannick Carrasco, player who's been linked with Arsenal on numerous occasions, who's got the goal. But after Real Madrid won the Clásico last night by 2-1, they went top of the league. So Atletico could go back to a point clear at the top with a win at Real Betis. But it's not an easy game. Not an easy trip. Real Betis have enjoyed a pretty decent season themselves. Here's at Ramsdale for Sheffield United. Chips one out to the right. Taken on the chest by George Baldock. Now it's back with Ampadu. Finds Ramsdale in goal. Into Fleck in midfield. Back with the Sheffield United goalkeeper. As I said previously, they've had a lot of the ball in the defensive third. To Arsenal's credit, up until now, they've not been able to do much as an attacking force. Here's McGoldrick, now Osborne. Fleck into Lundstrom. Fleck again. Plays it forward. Here's Ollie Burke in the box, just trying to turn and lost his footing, ended up on the deck. Sheffield United will come once more. Here's Baldock on the right hand side, looking to go beyond Granit Xhaka, who's held him up here. Martinelli's back defending now alongside Xhaka. It's chipped forward by Lundstrom. Osborne trying to bring it under control. Osborne goes down, wants a corner, wants a free kick. He's not going to get either. It's going to be an Arsenal goal kick, and it looked to me like that was the right call anyway. Not happy, Ben Osborne. Just having a look at it. Thinks that Dani Ceballos was just snapping at his heels. Don't think Ceballos did anywhere near enough there. Sam says, Harry, do you think Ceballos is playing his way into the starting 11 on Thursday with Saka through the middle? Would be interesting, wouldn't it, if Emile Smith-Rowe and Odegaard are still unavailable, to see what Mikel Arteta does. But this sounds really stupid, right? But I feel like Ceballos in the Europa League is a bit of a curse. You know, he made some shocking errors in the earlier rounds. He came on against Slavia Prague in the dying stages, and we conceded after they looked like doing absolutely zilch throughout the game. So I just wonder if he's a little bit of a curse in the Europa League, Dani Ceballos. I know Mikel Arteta's a coach and a student of football, but does he believe in superstition? That is the question. 50 minutes on the clock here. Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 1. It's going to be an Arsenal throw-in on the left, which Granit Xhaka will come forward to take. Into Ceballos. Xhaka gets it back, dinks it into the penalty area towards Lacazette, but it was won by a Sheffield United defender. Here's Ceballos on the edge of the box, tries a reverse pass to pick out Martinelli. Here's Ollie Burke carrying it forward for Sheffield United. He's just inside Arsenal's half now. He's got the pace to go beyond Callum Chambers. He's left him behind. Callum Chambers did well, though, in the end to stick with him and just capitalise on a slightly poor touch from Oliver Burke, who was desperately trying to get beyond the Arsenal defender. Sheffield United are in possession once more. Here's Ender Stevens. Into Lundstrom. Back to Stevens. Lundstrom will whip it out to the right hand side, and he picks out Norwood. Not sure he was trying to catch Bernd Leno out there at his near post, but he almost did. And Leno is stuck in the net. Leno just trying to cover that near post, but Norwood whipped it in from sort of the corner of the penalty area. And as I say, I don't think his intention was to try and squeeze it in the near post, but he almost bloody did. Arsenal goal kick, which Leno is going to take. Don't forget, if you haven't done so already, smash that like button. It's really, really important. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. That really helps too. Let's see where we are in terms of likes. We've only got 59 likes, guys. We've got 150 of you with us right now. So let's get it up to 100 at least between now and the end of the stream. It'll be really, really helpful. Like, is in discussions with Oliver Norwood over something that occurred. Just having a look at that Arsenal goal once again. Delightful football. Brilliant football, in fact. Brilliantly finished off by Alexander Lacazette. Where were those shooting boots on Thursday, Alex? Here is Callum Chambers just rolling the ball back to Bernd Leno. Sheffield United being a little bit more aggressive in their press now, and Pablo Marie finds Xhaka on the left. Nice switch of play to Callum Chambers. Nice touch from him into Pepe plays the ball in field for Saka, but Saka had gotten on his bike and made a move. As such, the pass didn't find him, and Sheffield United have it back. There is Ampadu, a centre-back, into Lundstrom. Here comes Sheffield United once again. Here comes Osborne driving forward, just dispossessed by Rob Holding. Big hello to Sherlock Holmes as well. He says, like Arsenal earning points, you have to earn likes. Mate, I've been talking for like 2 hours non-stop. I think I deserve a like. What time did we start? 6:45. In half an hour I'd have been talking for 2 hours. 2 bloody hours. It's a long time to talk to yourself, trust me. I was commentating last night on the game between Chelsea and Crystal Palace for VSIN in the United States. And I can tell you, when I get home from doing one of those commentaries, I do not want to speak to anybody. Literally do not want to speak to anybody. I don't want to talk. I don't want to listen. I don't want to do anything. I just want to switch off. Go into another zone. This is a bit different. It's a little bit more casual. It's a lot more casual. It's not a professional broadcast. There's no ad breaks to hit. There's no reads to slip into the conversation. There's no sort of thinking carefully about what you say and not slipping up with a swear word here and there. So this is a lot easier and a lot less mentally tiring, but it's still bloody tiring. Here's at Ceballos, back to Pablo Mari, into Lacazette, who's dropped deep. He flicks it over his head to Partey, sorry. Nice turn from Partey to find Ceballos. And now Arsenal can come down the right with Callum Chambers driving forward. He's got Nicolas Pepe on the outside of him. Here is Pepe inside the Sheffield United penalty area. Lays it off to Lacazette on the edge of the box, opens up his foot, tries to find the top corner, but it's wide from Alexander Lacazette. Good work from Arsenal again to beat a press. Lacazette, you can see what he was trying to do, just trying to wrap his right foot around the outside of that ball to bring it inside the post of Aaron Ramsdale, but it was wide and he didn't quite make the right connection, Lacazette. Not an easy skill. Not first time anyway. Probably had time to take a touch there, Alexander Lacazette, but he chose not to. Ramsdale plays the ball to the right hand side where John Lundstrom will pick it up, almost playing like a right back at that point. His clearance was deflected off of Danny Ceballos. Ampadu just let it run and it's gone out for a Sheffield United goal kick. Kevin Jones says, no coffee breaks or complimentary sandwiches, Jaffa cakes, digestives, donuts and muffins for Harry on commentary. You know what, you get some good stuff when you're at the game as a journalist. So if you're a written journalist, especially at Arsenal, I've had the pleasure of doing that a few times. You go there and at half time you can go in and just dig into the buffet before the match, after the match, whatever you want. You get like a little food ticket and you can just go and enjoy the buffet, and they do some really good meals there. But when you're doing a broadcast, you barely get away from your desk. Like literally you are stuck there because you've got to hit all the ad breaks and all of that, and it's not the same experience. It's not as easy, I can tell you that. Here is McGoldrick inside the box for Sheffield United, shoots from the angle, headed away, and then Arsenal bring it away after some neat passing with Bukayo Saka, who's just entered the Sheffield United half, flicks it beyond the Sheffield United defender. He'll keep going here, Saka. Baldock's gone down, having got back to challenge Saka, and apparently Saka's fouled him. Not sure about that. Matt Uminski says, just been able to tune in. How has our performance been? It's been pretty good. We've been missing a little bit in the final third in terms of some of the situations we've created. I don't think that we've taken full advantage of them, but that's been the story of our season. Defensively, up until now, touch wood, we've looked pretty comfortable. It's been okay. It's been okay. Sam says, which clubs put on the best spread, Harry? Arsenal put on a fantastic spread. But you know who puts on the best spread? Chelsea. Chelsea do a really good spread. And I've heard about it from others as well, who say that Chelsea do the best buffet. So it's not just me who thinks that. They've got quite the reputation at Stamford Bridge for their pre-match, half-time and full-time cuisine. There you go. That's how kind of dull and sort of dead this game's become. We're talking about buffets at football grounds. There you go. See, that's the kind of thing I can't do on a live radio broadcast. Callum Chambers is going to take a throw in for Arsenal from the right. It's into Saka, takes it on his chest, tries to turn, he's dispossessed, and the ball ends up with Ramsdale again. He launches it long. Pablo Mari just trying to hold off Osborne there, and Bernd Leno came steaming out because Osborne was chasing that through ball. Fortunately for us, the pass was a little overhit, and it was a difficult one for Osborne to get on the end of. Here's McGoldrick. Now it's with Ender Stevens. He played a long ball across the pitch there. Not sure what he was trying to do there. Apologies, it was Ampadu who looked up, thought he saw something, smashed the ball across the field, picked out absolutely no one. But the substitutes warming up on the flank. Here's at Partey in midfield. Out to Xhaka on the left. He finds Gabriel Martinelli. Xhaka now into Pablo Mari. Here's Xhaka again. Just crosses the halfway line. Finds Ceballos, who, as I've said time and time again this evening, has taken up position on the left-hand side. Here's Pepe on the corner of the box. Now on the right. Finds Saka. Dinks one into the box. Ceballos can't quite reach it. Now it's with Lacazette. Here's Xhaka, goes all the way back to Pablo Mari. Kevin says, how about across European grounds, croissant in Paris, flan in Barcelona, etc., etc. I've only been doing this job full time for not even 2 years, and 3 months of that were there was no football due to COVID. So I haven't had the pleasure of going abroad much as a reporter. I've done it twice. One of them was Olympiacos. But because I love going to Greece for other reasons as well, I kind of saved myself for the night out rather than that kind of stuff. So don't know exactly what they treat the journos like, because to be honest, I wasn't interested. I'd gone to a lovely restaurant before the game, and I went on a night out straight after the game. Here is Pablo Mari at left centre back. Now it's with Chambers into Pepe. Lovely flick into the feet of Bukayo Saka. Pepe gets it back. He's coming on the right hand side, cuts infield. Saka and him combine brilliantly. Can Pepe get the shot off? The shot's deflected. It will come to Lacazette inside the penalty area. What on earth has Lacazette tried to do there? I do not know. Looked as though he was going to try and pick out a teammate, and his cross almost was more like a clearance. It benefited Sheffield United, who now have the ball with Osborne around about the halfway line. Here is John Egan in the heart of Sheffield United's defence this evening. The captain of the club, of course. Here's Norwood into Lundstrom. Now it's with Stevens. To Osborne, back to Stevens. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but the pattern is very, very same old, same old. Sheffield United with the ball in their own half. Long ball forward, this time towards Baldock on the right-hand side. He headed it into the Arsenal penalty area, and Pablo Mari hooks it clear. Lacazette with a nice little flick on for Martinelli. Almost got it under control. Couldn't quite do so. Martinelli's gone down and he looks to be in some pain, the Brazilian. Doesn't look good. Signalled straight away that he was in agony. I don't know what has occurred there. Hopefully it's nothing serious because... Ooh. Just having another look at it. Just steps awkwardly Gabriel Martinelli, and it'd be so unfortunate now if he was to suffer a long-term injury, having come back from one earlier on in the season, having had to wait so long for his opportunity back in the first team. But it doesn't look good with Gabriel Martinelli. It looked as though it might have been the knee, which is obviously a major, major problem and a major, major concern. He's sitting up right now, which is obviously a positive sign. Sheffield United have made a change in the meantime. I don't know if it's the knee or if it's the ankle. I feel like it could be the ankle as well. I'm not 100% sure, but he's sitting up and he's not in anguish anymore, which is a good thing. Just have another look at it. Do you know what? I think it might have been the kick from the defender. In which case, that's better than it being some kind of ligament damage, if it is indeed that. I think he just maybe got caught. He's up and he's walking, Gabriel Martinelli. Doesn't look too distressed, so I'm hoping that means that he's kind of over it. But Ryan Brewster's come on for Sheffield United. Ollie Burke and McGoldrick have gone off, and it's McBurney and Brewster who have come on. So a change of the two centre forwards for Sheffield United as they look to find a way back into this game. Of course, Ryan Brewster signed from Liverpool last summer for really, really big money. But hasn't had the desired effect, has he, at Bramall Lane? I know Sheffield United, on the whole, have been poor. But I guess they hoped his goals would sort of fire them to safety, and that certainly hasn't been the case. Long ball forward from Pablo Mari. Gabriel Martinelli sprinting and chasing down Baldock. He looks fine. I think it, as I said, when I saw it the third time, it looked as though the Sheffield United player just caught him in his follow through as he stepped across. Doesn't look too comfortable though, Martinelli. Did just have a sprint and then looked at the bench as if to say, I'm not sure about this. Well, let's see if there is any chance of Gabriel Martinelli sustaining a long-term injury. Then the decision has to be from Mikel Arteta to take him off. But let's see how the next few minutes go. Here is Baldock into Egan. Now Ender Stevens has it. Arsenal have had far more possession in this second half. 58%. Norwood with a ball out to the left. Ender Stevens just lets it run to Fleck and then makes a run beyond. And that's a common feature in this Sheffield United side. Their centre-backs, particularly the two on the outside, bombing forward and coming up on the outside and on the inside. It's something that Chris Wilder has kind of become renowned for. I know he's not there anymore, but certainly something he introduced. Now we've got more bad news because Bukayo Saka is down. Just trying to work out what exactly happened to him. He just pulled up. Bukayo Saka, and do you know what? We talked about him in recent weeks and about the potential of him being burnt out. Got to be so careful in this season more than any other. And you know, when people tell me that I blindly defend Mikel Arteta, but the injury issues that we have had this season have been a real problem for us. And I think that this season has been challenging for so many, not just Arsenal, not just Mikel Arteta. I mean, you look at Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp, right? You know, how many injuries has he had to contend with this season? And look where they are in the table as a result of that. So it's just something that, you know, that has been a big problem, and for me it's one of the reasons why the calls for Arteta to be sacked are a little bit harsh. I accept that there are enough reasons to call for him to be sacked, and one of them, or the main one, being our league position. Thursday, the fact that we kind of made it difficult for ourselves going into the second leg of that Slavia Prague game has obviously disappointed a lot of people as well, and kind of intensified those calls. But I don't know, but just having a look at that Saka thing again, he just pulls up. Was engaged in a little bit of a challenge with Ryan Brewster, and then he went down after that. Arteta's taken him off and replaced him with Willian. So Arsenal's first substitution of the game, Willian on, Bukayo Saka off, and we've got around about 20 minutes to go here of normal time. He is walking, Bukayo Saka, but obviously is in some discomfort. Add him to the doubtful list ahead of Thursday's Europa League quarter-final second leg. Here is Norwood for Sheffield United. Into the feet of Osborne on the edge of the Arsenal penalty area. Good work from Danny Ceballos to win it back. Ryan Brewster came across and tried to sort of take him out. Ended up bouncing off of Danny Ceballos. And the ball's still in play here with Sheffield United's Norwood on the halfway line. Tries to play a ball in behind Pablo Mari, but Granit Xhaka read it. Now it's with Chambers, plays a ball inside. Holding into Partey. Chambers gets it back at right back and plays it into the feet of Pepe. Just holding off the challenge of Ender Stevens. Looks to put it through his legs, but has won a free kick for Arsenal. Did well there, Pepe, to hold somebody who's of a much bigger physique than him off the ball, off the challenge. Got to give the Ivorian some credit. Don't forget, this podcast for the next few days is brought to you by Le Bomb, the brand new predictor game. I'm in a competition this weekend with Rory Jennings, Adam McCullough, Elliot Hackney and Boovie, some of football's most recognisable YouTubers. I'm currently second in the table off the back of the results so far this weekend. Here's Pepe, forces a save out of Ramsdale, and it's turned in by, guess who? Gabriel Martinelli. I told you he'd want to make his mark this evening, and he's done exactly that, the Brazilian, by getting on the score sheet. Arsenal double their lead with around about 19 minutes of normal time to go, and Gabriel Martinelli is the man in the right place at the right time. Really, really good work down Arsenal's right-hand side. Willian led the press. Lundstrom gave the ball away. Pepe picked it up, got inside the penalty area, shifted onto that left foot of his, went for the far corner. Good stop from Ramsdale, but he couldn't prevent Gabriel Martinelli following in at the far post, showing his predatory instincts and turning it in to double Arsenal's lead. It's Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 2. That's what we love to see. That is what we love to see. Gabriel Martinelli on the score sheet, and Arsenal, hopefully, fingers crossed, sealing the 3 points here at Bramall Lane with less than 20 minutes to go. Arsenal are 2 goals to the good, and it's our favourite little Brazilian who's got on the score sheet. Brilliant stuff. Brilliant stuff indeed. Ramsdale looks visibly disappointed. I think he could be more pissed off with his defenders for not following it up, for not being alert. Not sure what the referee's having a word with Martinelli about, asking him to calm down. What for? What for? Xander says Martin Keown will be wet behind the desk. Yeah, he talked about it in the build-up to the game. He talked about campaigning for Martinelli to play. I don't think he's been campaigning, because he said it a couple of times on a couple of BT Sport bits of, analysis. Come on, campaigning. It's a bit strong, Martin. Love Martin Keown, though. Love him. Don't always agree with what he says as a pundit, but anyone who's done that to Ruud van Nistelrooy is a legend in my book, and I absolutely love him for it. So fair play. Fair play to Martin Keown for that. Just having a look, I was talking about the Le Bon app, and I think that goal, even though I predicted 3-1, I think that goal has pushed me up the rankings, and it's pushed me above Rory temporarily into, it's pushed me into joint first with Rory. There we go, both on 44 points over the course of the weekend. So you can check out the Le Bon app using the link in the description. Also, you must be a UK resident to play and over 18. And it's an app on which you can bet against your friends rather than the bookmaker. You choose the stakes. You choose the terms. You choose who plays. And if you're not satisfied, Le Bon will give you a refund as well. What they do is they take a tiny percentage of your winner's pot. I think it's 10% as a fee for facilitating the game. And as they say, if you are not satisfied with the game, and I can tell you it is a brilliant game, then you can contact them and they will promise to give you a full refund. But you won't be doing that. It is really, really good. Here is Lacazette inside the box, goes down. It's a free kick, I think, just to the left of Sheffield United's penalty area. Might have been a penalty. Looking at it initially, I think the referee's just consulting with the VAR to just double check that the offence did occur outside the penalty area. Just have another look at it here. Ceballos and Lacazette combining again. Yeah, it's just outside the box. Just outside the box, Ampadu stepping into Lacazette and preventing him progressing. It's definitely a free kick rather than a penalty. That's the right decision. And Arsenal have a free kick just to the left of the penalty area. Willian's over it. Got no idea why Thomas Partey's over it. Based on the way he's been shooting since he joined the club, I don't want to see him anywhere near it. 75 minutes on the clock here. Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 2. It's been a professional performance from the Gunners, with flashes of really good football. I think it's going to be Willian. Tries to catch the keeper out of the near post, but ends up striking it into Ryan Brewster, who was part of the wall. Here's Partey down the left flank, beyond everybody. And he's gone out for a Sheffield United throw-in, which they'll take from right back. Baldock is the man who takes it, throws it back to Ampadu, who hooks it clear. Kevin says Partey will be a decent kicker in the NFL. That's about all he's good at, kicking. Tony says Partey couldn't shoot my mother-in-law. Baldock plays it back to Ramsdale, takes a touch. Looks to chip it out towards the left-hand side. The ball will go out for an Arsenal throw-in. Pepe looking to get away from John Egan, who was marking him tightly there. Here's Willian on the ball. Of course, substitute replacing Bukayo Saka, who went off injured. We don't know the extent of the injury, how serious it may or may not be. But of course, with that huge game coming up on Thursday in Prague. Nice city, by the way. If you haven't been, when all this shit is over, check it out. That big game coming on Thursday, he couldn't take a risk with Bukayo Saka. But fingers crossed he's back fit and available for that one, because it is a big, big game. And he's been one of our big, big players this season. Here's Ampadu bringing the ball out of the defence for Sheffield United. Here is Ryan Brewster attacking the Arsenal penalty area. Gets a shot away from distance. Will it come to Osborne? No, it won't. Xhaka gets a foot in. Does really well. And Ceballos comes back to help his teammate out. Ceballos has been brilliant today. He's been so good. Here's Leno now. Out to the right where Chambers will pick it up. Back to Thomas Partey. Into Willian. Just cushions the pass into Chambers. Pepe tried to let it run. Ended up losing the ball. Here is John Lundstrom. Dolrick says we need Sabitzer to replace Willian. That would be bloody nice. And Zaha or St. Maximan as left wingers. Again, they would both be nice. But listen, I keep saying this to Arsenal fans, that there's a lot of work to be done But our transfer dealings are going to be, I fear, a little bit underwhelming because of the financial state that the club's in. Recorded a loss of, you know, just shy of 50 million, which isn't great. So we're going to have to get creative in the transfer market. Here's Osborne coming forward. Plays a ball on the outside of him for Baldock. He's to the right of Arsenal's penalty area. Turns away from Ceballos now. Xhaka comes to confront him. Baldock back to Lundstrom. Can he fashion the space for the shot? Instead he backheels it for Baldock. Into Osborne, who's meant to be playing on the left but keeps popping up on the right. I don't really understand what the tactics are behind that, but perhaps I'm missing something. I don't watch Sheffield United very often. In fact, I try and avoid their games most of the time this season. They're in behind here though as Baldock plays the ball back across the penalty area. Willian gets in Chambers' way, but in the end, there's a yellow card been given. Just trying to work out exactly what that was for. Pablo Marie's been booked. Just trying to work out. Let me just go back a second. Got the benefit of rewind, which is great. He's booked Pablo Marie for something that occurred before, by the looks of it. And there's a Sheffield United player down in the box. Now, bear in mind that I'm watching this without commentary because I'm bringing you guys commentary. So sometimes when the pictures veer away, I'm not exactly sure what the hell is going on. I saw McBurney down in the box. I saw Pablo Marie showing a yellow card and I feared the worst. But Ollie McBurney had a problem of his own making. Pablo Marie booked for a previous offence. But when I saw the yellow card shown and I saw McBurney down in the penalty box, I feared the worst. So just rewinded it quickly just to double check. But we're back on time now, so don't worry. McBurney is going to come back on for Sheffield United, and Arsenal will get on with it. Here's Leno in the Arsenal goal. Chips it out towards the right hand side. Here comes Callum Chambers charging forward, plays it slightly infield to Pepe, looks to pick out Martinelli. He's on the stretch, just trying to get his shot away, but always difficult to do so when you go to ground in order to try and get on the end of the ball. Was trying to make a first time connection with it, Gabriel Martinelli. Good idea from Nicola Pepe, good run from Gabby Martinelli as well, but the pass just not quite executed as accurately as he would have liked. Here is Osborne, wins a throw-in. And for those of you asking why Pablo got booked, he made a challenge a little bit further up the field, just a little bit earlier on, and the referee allowed the play to continue, and he pulled it back and showed him the yellow card. McBurney is going off. I think it's Mousse who's going to come on for Sheffield United. So the sub is being subbed for the hosts. Obviously got a problem. That's going to be the Sheffield United change. Arsenal are making a change of their own. And that change is going to see, I think, Gabriel Martinelli replaced. And I think given that he picked up a knock, it feels like a sensible move. One of the easiest goals he'll ever score in his career today. Gabriel Martinelli tapping in from no more than 7-8 yards out into an empty net. Mohamed El Neni is going to replace him. Mohamed El Neni will drop into that midfield and just try and protect a little bit, shore things up for Arsenal. Martinelli's got a smile on his face. I don't think he's had an amazing performance, Gabriel Martinelli. But he's got a goal and he's made his mark. And that's all he can do, isn't it? When he gets the opportunities, take them. For what it's worth, there's a lot of people sort of worried about Martinelli's fitness ahead of Thursday. For what it's worth, I don't think Martinelli's going to start on Thursday. I don't think that's the plan. I really don't. I know some people would disagree with that. Others will agree with that. I'm not really sure. I'm on the fence. But as I say, I think that would have been the plan. The plan would have been, for him not to start on Thursday. So let's see. Michael says, I've been excited seeing Gabby back in the starting lineup a good 82 minutes. Yeah, do you know what? That was probably one of the most appealing things about this game, was watching Gabriel Martinelli back in the starting lineup, because as a match, it's not been great. As a performance, it's been okay in flashes. Do you believe that via the Premier League we stand a good chance of finishing in a European place? That's up for debate. Of course, 7th is on. Especially after Spurs' result earlier today. But, there's a long way to go before we can be talking about that. And the priority, at least this week, is that game against Slavia on Thursday. Big game. And an opportunity to book our place in the semi-finals of a European competition. Here's Lacazette in behind. Lovely ball from Thomas Partey. And Lacazette finishes. Arsenal have a third. Lacazette with his second of the evening. Brilliantly finished. Brilliantly threaded through by Thomas Partey. And there was Alexander Lacazette to finish. And where were his shooting boots on Thursday? But he's come up with a brace tonight, the Frenchman. And he's staked his claim for a starting position on Thursday night. And you can see by the reaction of his teammates that they know how important that is to him. Lovely drop of the shoulder from Partey to turn away from Osborne. And a lovely threaded pass in behind the Sheffield United defence. I talked about the passing range and maybe that it was a little bit overrated from Thomas Partey. But I tell you what, he made me eat my words there with a wonderful turn and pick out for Alexander Lacazette, who gave the goalkeeper the eyes and finished brilliantly. It's Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 3 in the 86th minute. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. I don't want Arsenal to concede a goal. But if they do concede a goal and it finishes 3-1, I'll get the perfect score on my Le Bon prediction and on my prediction before the game, which I gave you guys the other day, which was 3-1. So let's see. Not that I want us to concede. Don't take this the wrong way. But if we did, I wouldn't be as upset as some people for that reason. There's a fairly decent pot on offer for that one. Here come Sheffield United. Here is Ampadu at centre-back. Gets it back once more. Under pressure from Willian. He's pressed quite well since he's come on, to be fair to him. Oh, I want the clean sheet as well. But it would sort of soften the blow if we did concede. Put it that way. What else have we got in the comments? Wesbird says, sorry, I've been listening, but our neighbour was here so late to the party. Good stuff tonight. Hope you're well, Wesbird. Hope you've enjoyed the game so far. She also says, nice to see you smiling, Harry. always got a smile on my face when Arsenal winning, that's for sure. Steve Stone says, shut up, Harry. As I say, I prefer for the clean sheet, but as I say, it would soften the blow, the fact that I'd move clear at the top of the league. Here comes Sheffield United. Shot wide from Mousse. That'll go down as a chance for the host. There's no doubt about that. Good work down the left-hand side. The ball was cut back for Mousse. He was inside the box, level with the penalty spot. Slightly from the left of centre. But he should do more there, and he should at least work Bernd Leno. There's no doubt about that. Arsenal going to make a third and final change. It's going to be Alexander Lacazette to make way. Does that tell you something about who might be starting up front on Thursday? Maybe, maybe not. We'll soon find out But Alexander Lacazette is making his way off of the pitch, having scored a brace. It's been a good performance from Lacazette tonight. And he's been replaced by Eddie Nketiah, the forgotten man. Eddie Nketiah, a player who I wrote a piece about this week, and I talked about the fact that I felt with the news of Balogun's contract imminent, I felt as though that could spell the end of Eddie Nketiah's Arsenal career. So let's see how that goes. Just a bit of an update from the game between Real Betis and Atletico Madrid. Big one at the top of the table in Spain, of course. Real Betis in 6th, hosting Atletico Madrid, who, as it stands, will move back to the top of the league by a point. But it is 1-1 now. Christian Tello equalised after 20 minutes. So Yannick Carrasco opened the scoring for Diego Simeone's side before Tello levelled it just 15 minutes afterwards. So there we go. Tony says, yeah, but what is 3 minutes extra rest going to achieve? Yeah, I agree. But, 3 minutes isn't the end of the world. But you completely take away the risk of injury if you're not on the pitch, don't you? Arsenal coming forward again, almost breaking Sheffield United down. Good work down the right-hand side. Nice bit of combination play between Partey, Pepe. Lee says, good result, but let's not forget Sheffield United. But great to have a better mood going into Thursday. Yeah, that's what it's about. As I said, obviously we want to finish as high in the Premier League as we possibly can. Obviously, while it's mathematically possible, we've got to be trying to get into that top 6. But it is all about Thursday for me anyway, and I think that going into that game off the back of a comfortable, comprehensive victory is obviously important. There's going to be 4 minutes of time added on at the end of this one. Dolrick says, how's the COVID situation there, mate? Hopefully you and your family are doing well. All good, mate. Thank you very much. Some of the more of the restrictions are lifting tomorrow, which is obviously good news because we can start to get our lives back a little bit. But everybody's well. Thank you very much. And fingers crossed the situation continues to improve after the lifting of these restrictions, because you look at them and everybody's kind of chomping at the bit and itching to get out, and you just wonder if that's going to do damage. But at some point we have to go back to normal, right? Or we have to at least try go back to as close to normal as possible. So is what it is, as Ramsdale clears this for Sheffield United under pressure from the onrushing Eddie Nketiah. Here's Granit Xhaka just shielding the ball from Lundstrom to win his team a throw-in. He's done well at left back. Granit Xhaka, I know it's not his position. I know he's not been under particularly great distress, given Sheffield United have offered very little in the attacking third. But even still. Sam says, got any plans to go out for a drink this week, Harry? Lots of you talking about the beer gardens. I haven't actually, not this week, because I've got so much work on. Working tomorrow night on the Brighton-Everton game. And then on Tuesday, we've got obviously Champions League action, got a few podcasts to do during the day. Obviously a couple of streams for you guys, but also Simply Serie A is relaunching. The Italian football podcast, which is now under the 90 Min umbrella, which is fantastic news. So delighted to be on board with them for Simply Serie A as well. We're recording a show actually tonight at 10 p.m. UK time, and that will be available from tomorrow morning. So if you are a fan of Italian football, keep tabs on me on Twitter. I'll post the link in the community bit on this channel as well, because I need to drive as many people over there as possible to prove to 90 Min essentially that taking on Simply Serie A was the right decision. So I'd love you guys. I know you guys are super loyal over here, and I love your support, and I thank you for it. If you could show some love to Simply Serie A as well, I'd be very, very grateful. So yeah, that podcast will be out at some point tomorrow morning, and yeah, so busy this week. Champions League as well. Tuesday, Wednesday, some mouth-watering ties. Tuesday, you got that brilliant game between Bayern and PSG. How will that finish up? And then, of course, on Wednesday, Liverpool and Manchester City both involved in in ties as well. And then, of course, Thursday, Arsenal back in action. And then Friday, I'm working again. So, yeah, there's literally... And Saturday, I'm working again. There's no time to go to a beer garden, as much as I'd love to do it and catch up with some mates that I haven't seen in a long time. But soon enough, we'll be back there, and the football season ends in the not too distant future, which will give me some downtime. Ampadu just penalised for a foul there, 93.5 minutes on the clock, around about 30 seconds remaining. Arsenal in the driving seat here, 3 goals to the good. You know it's been a good night when Gabriel Martinelli's got on the score sheet. And we've even seen Eddie Nketiah for the first time since February. The last time he was in a Premier League squad was in February, mid-February. I was looking it up the other day. It's mad to think that he played so frequently at the start of the season, and now he's nowhere to be seen. Right, all done. Done and dusted. It's finished at Bramall Lane between Arsenal and Sheffield United. The Gunners with a comprehensive 3-0 victory. Good performance from Arsenal. Very, very comfortable throughout the game. Never looked in danger. Couple of goals from Alexander Lacazette. He took them both brilliantly. And then, of course, Gabriel Martinelli getting himself on the score sheet as well, which is fantastic news. Really, really chilled evening. Chilled, enjoyable game to watch. You know, not much in terms of stress. Not much in terms of agony or anything like that. The only concern off the back of it is, of course, the knock picked up by Bukayo Saka. What does that mean? Will he be available on Thursday night? That is the big, big question. Thank you to every single one of you for your really, really kind words in the live chat. I'm glad you enjoy the content. And as I say, I know that I cover a lot of the games, and particularly when we go back to stadiums, I'll be at a lot of the games, and I won't be able to do as many of these watch-alongs. So I'm taking the opportunity to do as many as possible during this period while we're away from the grounds. But when I do return to the grounds, I'll be bringing you content from the grounds. So you win either way, really. But thank you all so much again for your support. And I will catch you all soon. Big shout to those watching from Larnaga in Cyprus as well. Hope you're good, and I will catch you all next time. I'll be back in about 20 minutes time for the post-match show, and then I'll be back tomorrow for an in-depth analysis of Arsenal's tactics tonight, and we will be reacting to Mikel Arteta's press conference and all of the other stuff that's to follow. So looking forward to that as well. Catch you all soon. Until next time, take care.